We have been looking at how to make remote work actually work for us. Why? Because love it or hate it, remote work is here to stay, and we would rather that you didn't hate it. Now, in order to make remote work smooth, we need to have three pillars in place: practicality, legality, and productivity. And we are finally on the productivity pillar. We have answered whether everything is in place for your remote worker to physically be able to do their job. And we have answered the question as to whether or not your company is protected with regards to you having remote workers. So now we want to answer what is probably the most important question to you personally as the accounting firm owner. How do you ensure that the work actually gets done and gets done properly when your team member is sitting in a completely different location? So before we get into answering this question, let's define productivity. What does it actually mean to be productive? So productivity is a measure of efficiency that calculates how much output is produced relative to the input required. It is fundamentally about working smarter to accomplish more with less, and is a key driver for business profitability. Thank you, Google. Now, this is one of the reasons you are probably considering remote work in the first place. This idea about working smarter and accomplishing more. You want to make sure that your employee doesn't just do more, but they definitely do what they would have done in an office. Is there some amazing remote work statistics floating around out there by remote work pundits? Remote workers are supposed to be 35 to 40% more productive, and they are found to make fewer mistakes, 40% fewer mistakes. Remote work is supposed to reduce absenteeism by 41%. It reduces employee turnover by 12%. And some organizations that employed remote work improved their profits by as much as 21%. Now, that all sounds amazing. So why are there so many people out there claiming that remote work is a nightmare? So in the previous videos, we have covered the fact that in order for it to work, you need to actually plan it. You need to make sure you have the right tools, and you need to make sure you have the right processes. But we have found that when it comes to accounting firms specifically, the problem goes a little deeper than just planning. Because productivity isn't reliant on the employee alone. Productivity is reliant on the organization as a whole, and it is very reliant on the way in which the employee is managed. And many accounting firms, and especially your new and small and growing ones, don't actually have standard operating procedures, and very, very few accountants are taught how to be managers. 90% of the time, we promote our best people. And why are they our best people? Because they're our best accountants. But the ability to do excellent accounting does not necessarily translate into the ability to manage people. And yet this is what we do. We take our best accountants and we reward their hard work and dedication with a promotion, which is amazing, and we should, except that we don't also provide them with the training they need to handle that promotion. And this means that some of your managers are fantastic managers because they have a natural ability to deal with people and with workflows. But there's a high chance that a lot of the accounting firm managers out there are actually not good with people at all. Because very generally speaking, accountants were drawn to accounting because they love numbers and putting things in order, not because they love people. Now, I know it's a generalization, but generalizations exist for a reason. So a very large number of your staff members are introverts who are uncomfortable talking to strangers and definitely uncomfortable having to manage other people's emotions. When you promote them ahead of their co-workers, that discomfort only intensifies. Now, this setup can still work in an office environment, and it does because we all learn from each other. So your new manager will probably start managing her team the same way that her manager managed her. And all your new team members that come in will continue to learn by interacting with their colleagues. But when this translates into a remote working environment, things begin to fall apart because your new team member does not have the benefit of leaning over to Sarah to quickly ask her a question. They don't have the benefit of overhearing their colleagues discuss a problem or a process. They don't have the benefit of job shadowing by being a fly on the wall and watching people do their work. They don't have the benefit of bumping into you in the hall and quickly asking a question that's been on their minds. And you or your manager does not have the benefit of being able to just quickly stick your head around the door to check that everything is going okay. Which means that if your company does not have SOPs, and if there isn't a structured and planned approach to management and productivity, your remote worker and their manager are going to flounder. Sometimes you are the manager trying to make remote work for your little firm. And if you don't have these things structured and set up, you are going to battle. So we cover this in detail in our completely free ebook on managing remote workers, and I will put the link under the video for you. But for our last pillar of remote readiness, we are going to touch on every area of management, the areas that you need to have planned before you decide you are ready for remote workers. We're going to look at workflow, we're going to look at performance, we're going to look at management and monitoring, and we're going to look at building and improving relationships and engagement. And we're going to start by investigating the importance of SOPs in the next video.